here on the northern side.
Yeah, 4 players.
And Tui's has a paranoia. He's here for the setup. If there's contact, this could be a trap. And this could be a disaster.
He didn't throw it.
Smoke out. He's waiting for it now. There's the paranoia. The swing out. As both are just stunned. It's a stalemate at the beginning of the round. Dancing around the utility. Nobody can see a thing. Everyone flashed.
Spike down B.
And the spike is still not out. NRG have calmed things down for now.
Kaunzin wants to die there, so Tui's can take his position underneath. But he does let him out. He was hoping there that NRG continue to go forward, but with Victor lurking all the way through a drop, through a site, through into halls, all of a sudden, you're seeing them set up for a really nice post point, but they also have Tui's who got the information early. The rotate is here, and he's also on the flank.
They're turning back to him. Expecting the aggression, what?
Can he get on the rope? No, he doesn't even know what's on the other side, so he has to stay, actually. And somehow, some way, Les has even gotten to a really nice position for himself, too.
That deep flash went into spawn, so you're right. Les has gone unchecked so far. Sam having to go exploratory. Regretting it now. Les cleans him up. The wall, the only thing keeping him up for now. 48 HP was not going to stand a 2v2 as the spike has been planted. Crashy's going forward right into the weak lap of Sadak.
And Tui's turn to strike took so long.
Remember how good he's been in pistols. Another opportunity for him to deliver.
Cover going out.
First one not going to land. This time it's Crashies who finally gets NRG their first pistol of the series.
I can't believe that, too. Given how close this series has been on the first 2 maps. The fact that that just comes now, the fact that we're just going to be starting to talk about their anti-ecos and their bonuses, Loud has definitely been in control economically. On 3 out of 4 halves that we've had so far. See if NRG can snowball to something similar to what Loud did. There, Loud honestly had a great setup to really punish what NRG ended up going for that just didn't spring it. So execution slightly mistimed. And both of the players from Loud there dodged the flash, or the stun, and go in for a reflash. Aspas has actually bought a stinger here.
And he's so out of the play right now. Looks like he was expecting perhaps something out of dish, but now going forward, rotating quickly. You see it, he just gets there in record time. Well, a benefit of being outrageously fast. Meanwhile, that fight on the northern side, up by dish. There's Tui's who went exploring, and he finds Victor.
They're gonna go for a repush here. This is NRG's bread and butter.
Meanwhile, Aspas has already left. He's rotating off. There's a lot to be had here.
There's just artists who, remember, they swapped the stinger onto him, so they're not losing much there. But Kaunzin gets another one, and Aspas is here with his own stinger.
He's already on the site.
He's gonna play these smokes. There could be a flash. No, he's fighting!
Just a 1-for-1.
Sadak had a flash, I thought for sure, with his arrival here timely. He would have gone for that. Instead, there's actually just kills traded.
It's a stinger and a share.
Can he get up drop to get the gun? He does.
The Seekers too to cause some problems. Both Crashies and Sam sitting on site. The Trailblazer, the Molly. Sam catching some high ground, just barely slipping the net. Can Kaunzin and Les take this back? Will the retake work? Remember, they didn't have much to work with here, and time is short. Sam, well done by Crashies, leaving it all onto Les. With the flash in his face and time not on his side.
He might get both the kills done, though. No. They'll both survive. If he stays alive for a little bit longer, they have to continue to deal with him. And that ends up being pretty costly from NRG. Not the worst situation, especially given that Aspas actually bought into that. He's still going to have Light Armor Vandal, no wall, which, honestly, it's really hard to find defensive wall opportunities to use it. It's much, much, much more important on the attack side. Playing musical ropes here on the NRG side, trying to figure out where their default is actually going to be positioned, and it's mostly arcade pressure, with Artist being the one person lurking.
Pull that one way. A little bit of damage onto Kaunzin.
I wonder if they're They thought it was clear because of a knife early. Didn't see quite where Sadak is throwing it at the beginning, but most of the time, even in tower, you're throwing it all the way across the halls.
Nice nade to buy some time for Sadak, and then the peek too. You see what the setup was there. It was the fault line from Finesse to allow crashies to take some space.
It's so nice from Sadak to re-clear insta there.
So aggressive, so confident, and he gets a kill out of that. He's been so good at weathering aggression from NRG this series.
Sadak, what makes him such a strong IGL is despite IGLing taking on the brunt of it, he is always, always consistently able to frag out maybe some games here and there. He's not staying in the pack, but with the team that he has, it's unbelievable that he's even able to do that.
There's just so much firepower on there. Yeah, that you wonder, left. How is it that Sadak manages to do what he does at times?
So confusing. I mean, Tui's is in their spawn.
Spike
and
down,
so is Victor. They're just trading places, and we're seeing this a lot. I mean, 14 seconds, there's obviously no chance here, but...
Yeah, it feels a lot like what we saw at the beginning of Bind.
Yeah.
Where they were just kind of passing around each other, no real sense of where the opposition was.
Somehow the top two teams in Americas have gotten to a position where they're dealing with chaotic situations, which is very often not the case in this region.
One enemy.
And we do see the bonus canceled from NRG, at least the anti-bonus one here for Loud. They actually, because of how that anti-eco was really, really poor, only 2 players survived from NRG. They've got a very low investment into this. Still, 1 hero rifle though, on the side of Crashies.
Paranoia is going to be good, and Aspas can go off of this.
He's really close. With a stun too, this could be disgusting.
There it is. There's the Paranoia, but the Trailblazer
no follow-up.
Should have bought some time. I mean, that was the cue for them to go in the first place.
These trap plays that Loud are setting up, they're really not springing it entirely. They're using it in different ways.
It's now Aspas who's getting bullied. But Loud are not willing to give up any of the space. They do not back down. They do not relent.
Victor pinching. A moment of respite here.
Player standing. Spike down.
And it's short-lived. It's so short-lived.
It's returned back into it. Kalanzine there with the re-push. I was talking about how those traps are not getting sprung perfectly for Loud. The timing is slightly off. But no, actually, it's because they have a secondary layer. They have the follow-up. Just burst right back through with the aftershock with a secondary flash out of Kalanzine, and that's when they strike. False sense of security for NRG. After that Paranoia comes through, they're like, oh, it's over. We can just take the space now. They have nothing else. It's a false reality.
I'm out of here.
What is real here is this aggression from NRG early in this round. All 5 of them close by. And we're set up for another clash. Aspas flashed, not able to get the peek behind the angle at first as the kills go traded, 1 for run. And you've got to see there's a huge flank coming in from the northern side. NRG are trapped. They have nowhere to go.
They smoked the turret too.
The Paranoia out from Tui's.
He's just locked down underpass right now. Victor's still going for this round, and actually it's huge because the players from the north side pinch, after they got the first kill, they fell off. They said, that's enough for us. Sadak's dead.
He is absolutely dead.
I mean, we've been seeing over and over teams go for plays into the lockdown before it disperses. That one definitely ill-advised. And it's not even towards this B site that the hit is going. NRG have worked Loud here, completely outplayed them. They just got to follow up with the kills. And now the realization, it wasn't even this B site at all.
I mean, the fact that they've right-sized things given how the round started is outrageous in and of itself. But now they have to finish. Victor's not going to be able to apply any late pressure. Loud with the numbers advantage. And Finesse gone exploring. He has plenty of utility too. Can he find the right timing? Can Sam hold the line on his own?
To delay right now.
There it is. Buy some time. Find a window. And Finesse punishes. Now the fault line too. A really good idea of where Les is.
Great aftershock.
Very well done. Can Tui's win the 1v2? A 1v1 now. Flashed up. 5 HP. Trying to deal some damage, but for Finesse, you imagine it's a formality, and it is. That was close.
But he did such a good job on so many fronts there. The fact that he re-pushes up the rope will not have to rush through spawn, clear a lot of space, and then give up any of the other space that they don't go for. Finesse walks around it, creeps his way in. And then the aftershock on drop was perfect for both anybody standing on top, which he didn't know, and anybody standing down below. And Sam as well, using his ult to delay.
Get out of my way.
NRG have really outplayed Loud in these first couple of rounds, despite some really nice setups by Loud. And despite the economic flow of the game not going their way.
Here's another setup. They have 3 in halls. Meanwhile, NRG is trying to hold with 2.
That's
Victor, the first
unexpected.
to fall. Crashies with the trade. That flash is nice, but he's got to get out of there. Seekers,
popped.
and he's getting out. Neo ropes. Does that buy enough time? It does, just barely. Meanwhile, Art is trying to re-aggress with the blades.
Blocking sight.
Crashes can't die on the rope, it's his spot, it's his signature.
Can Artist find any more value with his ult? He's looking for it, and everyone's flashed. The stun not landing. Now they're gonna push him! And Sam's the perfect trap! Sadak left into 1v3. Just to tap onto the spike now, and they wait patiently. They swing with utility, and they take the round.
The fact that all of the NRG players held on there for the longest time, again, in dangerous scenarios.
One enemy remains.
So many flashes, so many stuns coming in from Loud on that side to try to retake, to push them out of position. And they plant themselves firm. Timeout of Loud. The first time out of the game for either side, and Loud definitely, again, able to do so much damage on the anti-eco, able to follow up and win the anti-bonus. That should have given them room to start to cascade some rounds together here on Fracture. But instead, NRG is making this chaotic, making this full of guesses out of the Loud defense. This is why this matchup is so good. The head-to-head battles between the two teams mid-rounding, the IGLs, and now the coach is getting involved as well. There's so much room now for Loud to dig deep and really try to think back to that one game that NRG played all the way back. The great thing about this for NRG, despite it being Loud's map pick, is they've only played this once. They haven't played it throughout this entire lower bracket run.
Sure.
So they have more that they have not shown, for sure.
Light buy out for Loud here, and you see the pings on the mini-map. It seems like they want to set something up with the fault line, take some of this early space.
Here.
And then Pounce B. Waiting for the aggression, expecting it. Suspecting a move from Loud that does not come.
Leading up to Crashes right now, it was so silent at the beginning of this round. I could hear Crashes make the call pre-round.
Yep.
You know how much those veterans contribute. You know how much is asked of them in this moment.
Poison's off.
And you could see, actually, they wanted to look for a pick on close B. Crashes instead rotates back to Halls, uses his dog to get through against this eco from Loud. They're really trying to figure out what the eco strat is here, because there are so many tools, and we've seen them for traps over and over.
Just doesn't seem like there's been enough to commit yet, and well, that would be a large investment.
It's not for tower, though. Oh.
Did Les get hit? Les may have not gotten hit! And the nade buys some time. Les is able to pick up the weapon and get the kill on Artist!
It's not just the nade there, Doug. There's a Viper Molly on top of it, too, the tools.
Aspas not able to find any value with the ult, but Loud's judge delivers.
Sadak picks up a Phantom. Psalm has his ult again. It's Finesse and Psalm 2 VX in tandem.
Orbital strike used. Up in tower to buy some time to funnel him right into Finesse's lap. 2v2 now. Tui's has nothing but a sheriff. It's Kawanzine who's got the greater weaponry. First shot's not landing. No shot! Loud, pull that off!
That's an eco. That right there is a thrifty. I know what that means. I can translate for you. You got ecoed. That is crazy. The setup that they had there, the molly out of less, for him to fight with that rolling thunder that came in, the nade lands on top of it, perfectly timed to one tap the first player through the tip of the spear. And NRG can't be happy about that. Looks like they might want to go fast through the one way that they normally place with the stun that comes out from Finesse.
Meanwhile, Aspas has an op on the opposite side of the map, so if they don't gain any traction, if they're not able to turn this into something, they may end up rotating back, but they find an opener.
And Kawanzine there definitely was scared of them going through. They don't have the Neon in this comp, but they do have the Jet. Jet can dash through. And so his stun was way advanced, much closer to the door. Tui's peeks off of it, and there's nobody stunned.
Smoke's invested by some, and Artist fills the space. Now lockdown used too, but NRG have taken everything that they could possibly want at this point. Delayed just for the time being. And they've left Sam here by himself. He gets spammed through the smoke. And now they have the pit they're gonna have to deal with.
Pit retake. Spike is planted in the corner. Kawanzine finds the lurk on Victor too.
This is gonna be so difficult to deal with. I don't know that they really have enough tools to deal with this pit other than spam. I mean, Finesse has an aftershock, but that's it.
Yo, Pearl might be banned, but we're right back to it.
The spam's through. Kawanzine sticking in. Oh,
got half though.
3/4 of the way.
Next, it's up to Sadak.
It's just a tap in the face of the stun. They have to reposition, and Loud take the fight to NRG.
Excuse me? Sadak just spammed two through the pit. And you gotta smile if you're Sadak about that one. That is crazy. And the great thing about that decision from Loud, they don't rely on the spam.
Yeah.
They don't rely on them getting lucky and not getting killed here. That was the last 2 bullets of his clip. He gets 2 kills.
Four apiece here between these two squads. The finance is not looking good for NRG, and that's going to be enough for Chet to call the timeout. You see it on the timeline too, and we look at it here in a moment. The rounds have just gone back and forth. 2 for NRG, then 2 for Loud. 2 for NRG and 2 for Loud back again. See the ebb and flow of this map has fortunately fit with how the series has gone. It's just been blow for blow every step of the way.
Despite that being the case within the maps, despite that fact, we might be tied, but Louder 2-0 up in the series. And I don't think that fact is settled in yet. As we get closer towards this end of this game, if this stays close, Loud are going to be approaching becoming the first America's champions. That's what's on the line right now. And NRG's been forced again to save. It's been 2 rounds in a row for Loud. Loud are the ones who've gotten the only thrifty round win, the only eco of the series so far. Can NRG do the same on demand?
Will they be able to give the crowd a reason to return the chant? Aspas already getting the opener with the op. Finesse patiently buying his time, waiting to swing. And they're gonna try to bully Sadak. And they do. He's already down. Is there gonna be the opportunity to upgrade a weapon though? Yeah, Finesse is the one who picks up the Phantom. They get the spike down.
Aspas opping on the retake. These spams are so good, just forcing the planter off site. And going for it.
You see Crash, he's having to peek back spawn. Make sure there's no one coming.
There's only 1 molly on the spike.
Start to see some of the utility come back up. There's the fall line out from Finesse. Nothing tapped yet! Aspas with the shorty kill. A 1-for-1 is Crash. He's once again has to play hero. He's got to play hero again because Tui is off the pole! But Victor saves the day!
Crashies is just so good. How is he doing that? Picks up the Vandal again. Low buy for them. Instantly swaps to the next. And it's like he just knows where they are.
Thrifty.
The OG duo delivers.
I wondered when this would happen. When it would change from NRG chance to Crashy's chance. After another heroic play.
Blocking sight.
NRG trying to be pacey here. The Trailblazer to pave the way to push Kalanzine back. But again, you see the benefit of running a Neon in comps like this.
I've got your
Reinforcements have already shown up.
I mean, his op's already been neutered. The freeze from NRG came in on Sands. Then they pop, then they strike. And now they have the tools for this real post plant. In the prior round, they only had one Molly. They only had Sheriffs.
They're gonna try to funnel out of heaven.
What?
So aggressive.
I can't believe he escaped.
Artist spamming through. You see the op shots continuing to rattle off on the site. Remember, they still have Psalm's orbital strike. Crashy's caught. Trying to take a deep breath, inhale. And it's Aspas who falls. Looking to hold the line a bit more as Sadak follows suit. Numbers NRG. They invest the orbital strike, but that should secure the round.
One enemy remaining.
Just now, Tui's with really nothing to do. Save the op, live to fight another day.
Did get out. And I'm not sure. I want to continue this if I'm Aspas. As this Neon, he found the first kill on the other side, but that was just a one-off thing. Now that they know he's going for it, you're seeing explosions out of NRG onto the sites. Either way, the way that NRG played this, they used their util before they even got on the site. And Loud is thinking, with the time ticking, how long it took them to get Sands control, that they're going to go for a post plan, that they're going to start using mollies on the spike. Instead, NRG uses those to delay, and Loud is caught in between, using their util to get back on the site fast. Here's that dash I was talking about.
Off of the Stammy too, it's pacey. It's right into the op of Aspas.
I mean, it's perfectly read from Loud too to put Loud in that position, or put Aspas in that position, away from the stun, deep on the sight line. Went for a re-clear on drop. NRG still not satisfied with what they got in halls there. You saw how fast they split up from 4 walking back towards B to just 2.
The alarm bar, a threat of what might be on the other side of the wall. And that's just enough for Victor to take a step back. If he's not careful, he may get into some trouble here too. Les is close by. There it is. Another shot delivered. Another kill secured. And all of a sudden, the potential of another eco. They're so split up as well. I mean, it's just a spike by himself. Meanwhile, Crashies is on the opposite side of the map.
One enemy
This would be
remaining.
the second Thrifty for Loud. It was just an op and pistols, and look at where they find themselves now.
Smoke's down.
30 seconds left.
The spam, Zom, surely a dead man walking at this point. Loud convert, a flawless round.
And again, light weaponry. That saved op actually comes in huge. And the thing that I didn't think about before this, and you saw it exposed right there by Loud. NRG with just the single controller. You find these gaps when they want to pivot, when NRG is a pivot-heavy team. There's openings where there's not going to be sightlines blocked. You might have already used your smokes. You don't have that Neon to recover like they used to play. Like Loud has in their toolkit. He's going for an aggressive peek. Artist got the op though this time, head to head.
Can he get the space? First kill is going to be in favor of Artist, but the ult used. And it's just a threat now. The question is, how quickly do NRG fill? Take ropes to the northern side, and they reset.
Crazy part here is, with that overdrive used by Aspas, they're not even really sure where the op is on the map. A lot of times you'll see these ults from the duelists come out to be used as weapons, and you pass the op to another side.
But he still has it. They've split. They invest the lockdown. Finesse is waiting on the other side, and Aspas smoked off. Has to respect it.
My ult's ready.
No follow-up, no funnel from NRG.
Saw Sadak get punished much the same way, looking for a kill way late. And there, the Neon can get to safety at least.
NRG confirming that there's no flank from the southern or northern side, and they can turn their attention all towards spawn. And here's where Sam is. Artist getting one with the op. The wall concealing Aspas.
Stuffed him with the barrel.
Peeks behind the wall and it's netted to kill his Artist. Looking to take lives with the knives, and he does!
An ace for Artist. His second in the league. Now in the grand finals, it's so huge. And that's the end of the half, too. NRG have come out to another 7-5 lead. They didn't win the one on ascent. See if this changes.
We talked about it. It might require magic. There was a little magic from Artist. Let's throw it over to Dash at the desk to break down that half.
Thank you so much, Doug. NRG coming up with a massive 12th round to give themselves a 7-5 advantage, akin to the first map, Sean. But the question becomes, is that enough? 7-5 lead over Loud on Fracture?
And it's going to be real sketchy. That's a really good question, because now that they switch halves, they're going to go against this KO, against this Neon. And typically you would want the Cypher in that scenario, right? Because you can play cross map and avoid things. It's going to be a lot on Vic that's have to stop Aspas in these sites. But also, Les is going to be lurking underpass at B. And I think he is about to pop off in this half.
He was so good in this composition last time they played it. But the thing is, this lead should have been even bigger for NRG. Loud got away with so many thrifties, so many rounds that they should not have in that first half. And like you're saying, this is where this comp becomes very strong. If Loud win the pistol round, this becomes so dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw it against EG, one of the best Fracture teams in the league, in the world, how explosive Loud could be on that attack. So big worries for the NA fans right now.
There's also already enough pressure on the gameplay itself, Mimi, but you add to that this is a series half, essentially, for Loud. Loud trying to lock it up, reestablish dominance in a domestic region, but for NRG hunting for what has eluded them their entire career.
For NRG, all they can hope for is a title, and you want a dominant map. You want something to build confidence, but you're again facing Loud on a map they are so strong on a composition that they've only had to show once before.
And if I'm FNS right now, I think I have some kind of solution for this lurk Viper wall on B. Les is going to put it up, he's going to deny all arcade info, and he's going to try to get underpass. And if that happens, FNS is in big trouble in this in-game leader role.
If NRG cannot find a solution, it'll be yet another domestic title slipping away from them.
For Loud, they need 8 rounds to crown themselves VCT America's champions. For NRG, it's 6, and you buy yourself another map. Let's see if they can get it done as we head to the second half. Back over to Doug and Bala.
A lead for NRG, but a narrow one at that. And now we have to figure out how are Loud going to execute this comp that's intended to be fast, that's intended to be pacey, off of stuns, flashes, and then the go button from Aspas. I mean, we're going to see it right off the bat here too, Bala.
All 5 players up on top. 4 frenzies bought up, just Tui's. The paranoia smoke.
Starting to farm up some of the orbs for Sadak. You see what their intentions are.
They're just dry walking. This is actually crazy. Right out of the NRG strap book.
Artist is taking so much damage already.
Somehow, NRG have walked into underpass at this point. They literally traded sides.
Aspas might be behind him, and I don't think they're gonna know. Aspas, there's the frenzy, finding the kill. And now they have to turn attention that way. That was close. Not able to deliver. Aspas still causing problems in spawn. Like a pesky gnat that has to be dealt with.
They had to smoke him off. They had to spend one of Sam's last remaining smokes on him.
Oh, this looks like another pistol. It's going to go in favor of Loud unless Crashies can do it again. No, he cannot.
Shutting them down.
Just one pistol for NRG. Everything else goes Loud's favor. They're so strong throughout the playoffs on them, but now faltering in the final moment. And with the lead was in their grasp. They did get that one thrifty round win, but asking it here when there's rifles abound for Loud. Such a difficult ask. Artist with the Marshall though. Aspas gets across that angle so fast.
And even then, I thought Artist had a chance at one. But the Bulldog from Tui's is good. And it's just pistols now for NRG. Remember here what's at stake. Obviously the grand finals, obviously the very first title in VCT America's history. But a deep rivalry with so much history. Now the 9th time these two teams play, and they're tied at 4 apiece. Potentially one map away, one half away from Loud closing the books on this. Sam's gotten a gun here. He's gotten a rifle. He has no armor though, and he's got less hot on his tail. Stomping just not on his side as they continue to pass by one another, and that's going to draw the rotates right back. Yeah. Sam is dead. Spike was already headed
30
B.
seconds left.
I mean, Sadak and Tui's were literally sitting in the defensive spawn for less to make a play, for less to determine whether they could come into that B site. He did that and more, and then you saw as soon as that kill comes in, they come through to go for the final plant, but that was not easy. That was not great. Out of the Loud side. And you can see that reflected in their buy. 2 sheriffs, a Spectre still. Sadak had that in the last. NRG now a chance.
Seems like they want to apply some pressure, and the pressure works out. Les had no chance to respond. Start to see some spam coming through as Sam's getting another. It's just Aspas who's got a rifle now. Loud quietly choosing to reset. Making very little noise, giving away very little of their hand.
It's been so quiet these last 2 rounds, trying to find ways back into it. The double tower setup, though, is going to be, I mean, incredibly tough to get through. And it looks like they want to clear and peek. If they spot Aspas, or if Aspas even gets a kill here, all of a sudden this opens up wide.
That flash confirming.
Surprised not to see Finesse follow up with a flash of his own.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Or even a swing for that matter, but either way.
They're getting up on the site here.
Aspas is close. Oh, he still gets one? Still traded back though. Still healthy, and now NRG seem to be avoiding disaster, seem to be getting out of this one. Sam's gonna get on the defuse, he's gonna get it to half, 3/4 of the way, 80-90, done.
Instantly converting the anti-bonus.
I'm over them.
And Loud, 2 rounds in a row now where it goes crazy in the early situations. And forces them to slow way down. This is because of this push at NRG. Then when they finally decide, Crashes is ready to spring, the players in tower are ready to spring.
Yes. My ult's ready.
Very nice execution out of NRG. They maintain the lead still. Not something they were able to do on Ascent. That quickly slipped away.
One suppressed.
The whole setup from Victor. Down on this tree, and Aspas just working it against Finesse. That's before that wall comes up. And you can see, the style they ran against EG was very, very execute heavy. Now it's a lot slower. Trying to find picks prior.
NRG trying to take some space in response to the noise that Aspas just made, and Loud were already ahead of it. Already rotating back A. And getting the punish off of it.
And Tui's is hearing the rotations, by the way. So he's calling them all the way back. He just sat in underpass, listening to how Victor's moving, how the other players are moving. So now it's just Victor all alone. And by the way, they broke that util much earlier in the round.
Aspas single-handedly removed the setup and then removes Victor. Loud in a position to tie us up at 8. We wondered how NRG would be able to weather the aggression of this comp, and truthfully, yeah, there's been some of that, but honestly, Loud have been manipulating NRG's rotation so beautifully.
And the two different paces out of Loud as well. Significant. The way they're rotating around too is really causing Finesse to struggle to make the right calls. Now they're gonna hunt the guns down. And I do also have to say, Hospas's feeling a lot more comfortable this day on the Neon than prior. You're obviously still seeing some minor things, because Hospas has actually never played Neon prior to that EG series.
But down.
He looks great today.
Yeah, he does.
6-1 on the first kills on Fracture.
I mean, in this round, again, not only does he get Finesse, but then he instantly clears out the turret, instantly clears out the alarm bot. He's just been unreal.
You have to put a body now on it. On that KJ util, you gotta be challenging Hospas, you gotta be trading the turret, that sort of thing, or at least attempting it. And as soon as you do that, all of a sudden, Loud can start hitting you with the fast XX. Although I will say as well, the KJ very good at delaying some of those Neon Wall executes. But those are things that chat's gotta figure out. What is the counterplay going to be from NRG? Because if not, Hospas are gonna continue working them and lead his team to end this series on this map.
Tied up at 8 on the other side of this timeout. Som has the orbital strike. Artist with nothing but, well, I thought it was a stinger, but they've actually handed it over to Crashies, and they've put the Vandal in the hands of the Duelist.
They're pinging their own spawn right now. Really concerned about Hospas pushing up into spawn like he did in the prior. On the pistol and caught Finesse and saw him by surprise while the rest of his team was nowhere near. And against the same sort of thing, Finesse though, able to open up on his counterpart of Sadak.
It's a split setup from Loud too. With Sadak and Les who are on that opposite side of the map. Meanwhile, the Spike and everyone else is towards B. And again, you hear the quiet, you feel the tension. Not just in the arena, but in the server. Teams historically so well matched up, bringing the best out of one another when the lights are at their brightest, and Hospas continues to deliver. Crashies on the aggressive swing. It's actually Victor who gets the kill, and Hospas has to tuck tail and get out.
Really nice stun from Finesse there in spawn.
That's a spike.
Crashies are controlling it now, but he's only got that stinger. Remember, so he can't really go for it too. This smoke is gonna fade and Crashies is gonna be sat inside.
Flashing outside of it. Getting knowledge of what may be there. You've got Victor's to help too. Crashies falls. And that's gonna give up the spike, yeah.
But Som has his ult right now, 22 seconds, that's not a lot of time to play.
Can Victor hold the line? It's just less on the other side of this smoke. They've picked up the spike, and you're right, time is short. He's trying to find an opening as he cannot. Now with 10 seconds left, the clock will harmlessly expire as NRG not just hang on to the map, but take the lead back.
Eventually, it essentially comes through with a stack on top of Crashies, trying to reinforce that position. Is too hard to get through the smokes from Hospas. Yes, he's doing work against that KJ util. But again, all at the beginning of round 2, Finesse takes a risk and just goes for spam. It's that sort of thing that's keeping them in this game.
My ultimate is ready. You stopped thinking.
Hospas is having himself a game right now, 20-11.
Yeah, he is.
Feels like he's getting value every single round in the last 4. Maybe this entire half.
Pushing him forward so aggressively, using his ult. Sadak doing a bit of the same, but nice spam out from Finesse. So you're right.
Situation, but he's getting rest up because of that no command. And they've given up the position. They're gonna fight Halls here.
Yeah, it seems like they are. It's right into Les! It's right into Les! They have full Halls control now. They have the entire map.
How many times have we seen this situation where they just run away from halls? They came through, drop, take the site, ult into halls, take 2, and run through. How is that the decision that's made? They're really, really making Finesse think. And what started off with him getting that first kill, it looked like it. Sadak does not fall. No command right before. Like he's a Phoenix ult.
And now you see the outcome. After that outrageous hit off of the Rolling Thunder, the lightning of cause followed by the thunderclap of effect. NRG have to save.
And the quiet in the crowd is loud. Again, tie it back up. It's thunderous. It's so ridiculous. The situation that is unfolded before us in this grand finals. Loud, creeping ever closer despite the lead from NRG.
And the thing is, that really is fitting of what we've had so far. Every map has been close. Every map, it's been like NRG hanging onto a lead or mounting some sort of ferocious comeback, and it goes down to the wire, and it seems like this third map is no different. Guns back online for NRG, 3 ults to work with too.
The fact it's this close, it's hilarious that during Loud's somewhat struggles to close out series against weaker opponents, people started to doubt their map pool. People started to say, do they have something on Fracture? Are they going to be good on Bind when it comes out?
NRG want to go fast, and they've heard Aspas tuck under, but there's a counter punch, and Sam holds it beautifully.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
Artist takes a fair bit of damage, but he gets in on the action too. I mean, blow for blow.
You were talking about it earlier, tit for tat now. Back and forth. And that's the first time you see Aspas and the rest of his team get punished when they go for tree control. Normally Aspas is diving across that side, but they just got wiped out by the aggression out of NRG.
Deployed.
I mean, they have plenty of money here. You see a Loud's bankroll, it's deep. And any sort of gun that they can take out of the hands of NRG is magnified in the long run. And that's 2. Sadak in a 1v2. 30 seconds left, plenty of time.
1v2 for the ace.
30 seconds
This would
left.
be unreal on this stage.
Sense.
I mean, at best, you're no shot. Sadak has gotten it this far. It's just a 1v1 now. And he still has time. The spam from Victor as he repositions now. 13 seconds left. Victor has a lot of utility here. But the swing out from Sadak with the flash. Waiting. Crosshair trained! And the ace from Sadak!
Out of all people, Sadak has just been a monster today. And it's nasty good too. That's his first ace all season long. And it might just be the dagger in this game. They take their first lead on Fracture. Like that?
You even saw his reaction. He's often a bit of a showman, but he let emotion out that time. Leading from the front. Leading to a 1-round lead against NRG. Bitter rivals.
Finesse is in a great position to punish any push-up on B right now with that Rolling Thunder. There's got to be follow-up, though. There's got to be somebody up close. And
They're just going into Artis. Does he have blades out? He does.
the no command. They just got it. It could cancel it entirely.
But do you use it this early?
Do you even need it this early?
But they invested anyway. They've taken care of Artis, and now they trample their way forward, but it seems like NRG are going to try to flood into the site quickly. Sam's in a position to make a play. Tucked in the smoke, getting the spam onto the first, but it's traded back. And now NRG's final defenses fall. Another ace opportunity, this time for less. And it's Aspas who gets the kill, but it's Loud that gets the round.
Inching closer to becoming our first VCT Americas champions. Now within 2. And again, this game, while it might have been close, as we get deeper and deeper, Loud's giving themselves a chance to think about what might happen in a few rounds. This might be over.
And I can't help but think about the ace again. This is where NRG have to respond.
I'm out of here.
You have tools, you have weapons. You've got to convert here, but they've left B, for the most part, empty. Just utility from Victor.
And look, Victor has finally swapped up his KJ util. One is literally placed where Aspas likes to push up into Canteen. And then the mollies are spread.
Time to hunt.
They've gone through hell off of the flash. They see Les, the Trailblazer.
They're pushing.
Grabbing him, but Les holds the line, or at least attempts to. Miss it through all that. Tui's has an op. They drop the Rolling Thunder. They try to catch him, but they're ahead of the play, and they're going to push into spawn. They've got the spike there, and they're still getting the kills that they need. NRG with the numbers advantage now, looking to make it worse, but no, it's equalized.
Sadak doesn't know whether to go into A or just help out his teammate. Kalanzine does make it out though. Almost made it out with a kill. And it might all come down to Finesse's timing through halls right now.
It's perfect.
Spike down A.
That hesitance from Sadak early on before leaving his
30 seconds
teammate
left.
might have just cost him this round.
And again, at a desperate need to respond, it very well may have cost them more than that. Unless Kalanzine can pull off an outrageous 1v2.
The timing from Finesse there is so good. And the crazy part, the battle between the both IGLs has been not just in the mind. It's been on the server too. It's been head-to-head battles. We've seen that go back and forth so many times now. And Finesse just quicker this time. And honestly, momentum needs to be stopped for Sadak.
5 on the Thunder.
Oh, they're going for a fast push here through halls.
Yes, they
Always
are.
sent out from Les. Aspas wants to go through the door, but it's used an orbital strike. And it splits them up and cancels the hit.
They've been thrown asunder. Now Crashy's trying to hold the line. Som gets 2. Such a chaotic opening to the round.
Right here.
And now Som with an opportunity for more, but it traded back. Crashy 7 bullets, 6 now, and that's enough. The calamity leaves the reality of the tragedy for Loud as they just got decimated. NRG big on numbers, looking to tie us up at 11.
Poison orb emitting.
Still room for Les to work. His magic, you've seen him moments in this rivalry, in grand finals. Pull out ridiculous clutches still.
This would be outrageous.
Poison off.
This would be historic. He's gotten one. The spam's there. He knows where the other ones are. Dancing around the cover. 1v3 with 35 seconds left. He's got to take it slow. He's got to take it steady. He takes one down with him, but we're tied at 11. This map with stakes just as high
Spike down A.
have happened before. These ones maybe the stakes a little higher, but we've seen these two teams on this very map in a potential series-ending situation months ago. When the ideas, when the strategies, when the map pools weren't fully fleshed out, when it was a much, much quicker paced tournament back at Lock-In in Brazil. And yeah, it might just feel with the Brazil audience showed up today, it might feel like we're back in time. This time they've got support from the home crowd too. Two more rounds of regulation. We're going to see both rounds here to determine whether Loud walks away soon as champions, the first of Americas, or whether we go to a map 4, whether we go to an opportunity for NRG to pull this reverse sweep into reality.
Quick moment to catch our breaths as we head back into the action again. Tied up at 11. What's the setup here? And off in the hands of Artis. And he's going to be solo peeking. You imagine the fault line pushes him off this angle if they invest it. But instead it's a stun, it's a flash, and it's underpass gained. Patience from Artis! And he strikes at just the right time.
Artis has been unfortunately strayed away from the fight between him and Ospas this game. But there you have it. Seeker's pop too. That's something for them to fight for. That's also something for Artis to protect him while the rest of his team joins him in this moment.
They've dropped the lockdown too. Still managing to get this fight down. Is there's gonna be enough room? Yeah, there is. I believe there are two. They're all huddled in tower. First stop, missing, and now the pit, you're right. What do they have in a counter? Artis trying to find a free one through the pit, through the cover. No shorty landing yet. Spike ticking away, Sanok falls as you see this fight continue. Sam pushing forward, it's only one. It's only two. Crashies, again, has to be clutch. He's gotten it to half. Does he pull off? He does, but it's too late! Massive play from Tui's.
And chat's gotta be thinking, not like this, not again. That situation was in hands, but a slight gap in the lockdown and not covered. No molly, no nade, no ult. And it leaves 3 alive to allow the pits back into this tree pressure. Artis no op this time, can't take down Ospas immediately. But instead re-exploring, they're going for a slow north side crunch. While Finesse plays alone, look at the money. Stinger, Bulldog, a Guardian.
Suboptimal at best. Is this it for NRG? Is this where the road ends?
Trying to hold on for one more map. The uncrowned kings of North America, still no regional titles. It might elude them still to this day.
You got pressure in from Artis. Victor close by, and there it is. You start to see some of the spam through, feeling it. They know where they are now. That's enough for Loud to hold.
Concerned about this breach ult here from Kawanzin. They're getting real close to front of halls.
That's the first one. One step closer, and there's the Rolling Thunder. Tagging up Sam, but he gets the kill anyway. They've gotten it back and forth. But remember, the guns that they have are not great. This is all that they have left. A Vandal and a Classic who's gonna get upgraded. 2v2 now. It's all on to Victor. Can he hold it back on his own? He gets one, but that's all it'll be. For now, the rivalry, and more importantly, the history books belong to Loud.
And it is a very